Hey, I'm here at Embarcadero Center. It's a sunny, kind of warm day for a while, and it's Monday. So, what I want to talk about today is the Monday mentality. If you haven't heard of it, this is where people kind of do well during the week on their diet and on their workouts, and then just go off the rails on the weekend, and they justify it by saying, "Oh, I'll just pick things back up on Monday. I'll start over on Monday." And then they wonder why they're not making any progress when they're doing good for most of the week. Well, let's do the numbers here, because when people do this, usually what happens is, maybe they'll have a caloric deficit of 500 calories or so Monday to Thursday. Then on Friday, they'll do well during the day, and they'll start to go off the rails at night, so they'll kind of break even on calories. And then for the rest of the weekend, they'll just be totally off their diet, and they'll have 1,000 calorie surplus a day. Well, that averages out to, roughly even, 500 deficit for 4 days, even one day, and then 1,000 up for 2 days. So they end up breaking even. And on top of that, just, inconsistent blood sugar swings, probably taking 3 days off the gym in a row when they need to space out their workouts a little better. And what happens psychologically when you keep saying, I'll start over on Mondays, after a while you just know on some level that it's BS and you stop believing in yourself. Like, what happens on the weekends still counts. And when you tell yourself it doesn't, you kind of believe it on a surface level. Deep down, you're lying to yourself. And this starts to impact your self-image, because you start to see yourself as someone who can't follow through. So what needs to happen, maybe you can give yourself a little bit of leeway to go off the diet on the weekends, but only in a structured manner. Like, maybe you say, I'm going to be really strict about breakfast and lunch, and then at night I'm allowed to have a maximum of, one cheat meal over the weekend, or one beer a night. That's okay, but just saying, all right, no diet for the weekend, restarting on Monday, that will cause you to just continually take one step forward and one step back forever. And, cheating on your diet in an unstructured manner, unplanned, that does happen. But when it does, you can't use one mistake as an excuse to make more. If it's Friday night or it's Saturday and you eat a slice of pizza you weren't supposed to eat, you need to acknowledge that. Say, all right, I shouldn't have done that, but I forgive myself, but I'm going back on the diet. Don't, use that one mistake like a little pebble slipping that triggers a landslide. Don't let that, one little mistake lead you to make a whole weekend of mistakes. Just, all right, shouldn't have done that. That's it. Back on the diet. And, when you don't expect yourself to be perfect, when you acknowledge that you're going to make mistakes, then you'll have more realistic expectations, and then you'll be less likely to allow one mistake to turn into days worth of mistakes. And just remember, it's not good enough to be consistent 4 days out of the week or 5 days out of the week, but it also doesn't need to be 100%. It needs to be at least 80% consistency, probably more like 90%. And so, when you think of it in that way, you'll set high standards for yourself, but also when you do one thing wrong, you won't think, well, I guess now nothing counts, so I might as well go off the diet. So just, try your best to stay on the diet. Remember that everything counts, even weekends. And if you do go off the rails, you can get right back on immediately. It's no excuse to put it off till later.